Hey, yeah, this is Aaron Cato. I'm an extension specialist at the University of Arkansas in the Department of Horticulture. Cover pest of our fruit and vegetable crops, and today we're out in front of some strawberry trials we have here with myself and Dr. Amanda McWhirt at the Kibler Vegetable Station near Fort Smith, Arkansas. We're looking at a lot of different things out here, but one thing that we're finding is an early season pest that you all should be worried about. And so this is something we talk about every year. We have several different early season pests, or that pest of right after you plant your transplants you get in, or maybe you'll observe them before. But one of the major ones we're looking at that's an arthropod would be spider mites. Spider mites are common. We see growers that have issues every single year, and generally those issues start at planting. So a lot of our plants are coming from high tunnel or greenhouse environments. That's a normal thing, and what's normal with greenhouse and high tunnels are spider mite problems. Also, strawberries are very susceptible to spider mites, and so we generally have them come out of the environment onto plants anyways. But a lot of times those infestations are starting now, and you could do something about it now and save yourself a lot of headache. And so why in the fall time are spider mites an issue? Well, they're stealing nitrogen and other nutrients from leaves. They're leading to potentially defoliation if you get to large levels, but this time of year, really what they're doing is just slowing down growth. In our Mid-South growing region in Arkansas, we really need to push as much growth as possible going into dormancy, because we know that's what sets our branch ground numbers, the size and number of fruit that we're going to get in the spring harvest season. So spider mites can feed on our plants now, lead to a little stunting, but also they will continue to feed throughout the winter. They're not going anywhere, especially if you use row covers a lot. They're going to feed on any time that it is above 50 degrees Fahrenheit, whether it's just ambient temperature on the plants or whenever it's that temperature underneath the row covers that you use. And so what we recommend is getting out and scouting. Look at your trays as they're going into the field. Look for stippling or like little yellow specks of lighter colored leaf. Look for like a burned appearance or like leaves that are kind of even like curling downwards. Look for webbing. Turn the leaf over and use a jeweler's lens or a hand's lens like I have here. Like 5 or 10 times magnification would be plenty. And look for two-spotted spider mites or other types of spider mites that are running around on the leaves. Look for eggs, things like that. If you're finding 5 mites per leaflet, then you're going to want to apply a miticide now as soon as you can, because they're going to continue to feed, especially while the weather's warm. If you're getting close to that, I would say consider an application based on the environment. It's going to be a little bit drier, like in the upcoming times. Do we think it's going to stay warm for a lot longer? Those are going to make those thresholds probably need to be a little bit lower. We definitely do recommend a miticide this time of year. We usually recommend a softer miticide like acromite. It doesn't really harm beneficials as much, things like predatory mites or other arthropods that are feeding on mites. But what's probably a little bit easier to find locally would be something like agramec, which contains abamectin, or maybe a generic containing abamectin. It's good for a good knockdown, but doesn't always get the job completely done because it does harm beneficials as well. So what I would highly recommend for everybody to do, go out and look for 5 mites per leaflet as kind of like definitely there's a problem, maybe 3 to 5, maybe it might be a bad idea. Check your transplant trays, check the plants, just make sure they're getting clean into the dormancy period, because you're not going to have a huge infestation start in the dormancy period. So if you find them early spring, they're probably starting now. So I definitely would recommend you get out and look for that, and that may be what you need to make a really good profit in the coming spring.